Okay, welcome everyone once again to the Morgan Money Monday webinar. That's a tongue twister, all right, but hey, we are excited to have you all on the webinar this morning. We've got a lot of really good things to go over, and we're going to keep it within 30 minutes, and so I'm going to just be quick and get to the point. So we've got lots of good things going on, lots of exciting things happening. Last week was the craziest week I've ever had in my experience in this, with this industry. It was super busy. We didn't have one opening available by the time we got done at the end of the week. There was a ton of activity going on, lots of excitement, lots of people really excited about this Tranont opportunity, and rightfully so. It is a way to help people financially, and that is definitely worth getting excited about. And so I'm excited to be kind of going over this information this morning. Unfortunately, Ariane, who will normally be kind of heading up these webinars, will not be available with us this morning. She is not feeling too well, still recovering from her gallbladder surgery that she had Friday morning, so still in a lot of pain and kind of miserable. So she will hopefully be back with us next week and hopefully be feeling better by then. But I've got some exciting things to talk about and a lot of things that I think, for some good feedback after last week, a lot of good things that we can go over and talk about some of the benefits of how to share this awesome opportunity. But before I dive into that good stuff, I want to go over a little bit of housekeeping here for a minute. First of all, we've got a lot of good things going on this week, so I just want to make sure that you are aware of everything going on this week. We have, first of all, tomorrow, hopefully everyone is getting the emails from corporate. I think I also forwarded on the email as well to everyone, so you should actually have it twice. But if you did not get that, please respond to me and let me know. But tomorrow is the first look and fast start training from 7 to 9 p.m. here Mountain Time. So adjust that for your time zone. But that will be broadcasted. So that will be a local training for those who are here locally at the Lehigh Thanksgiving Point home office there, but it will also be broadcast as well. So make sure that you get on that one way or the other. This should be a great training provided by corporate for how to get your business off to a fast start. So that will be tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. Also, actually I should have reordered those. On Wednesday, let's go in order here. On Wednesday is a first look webinar. We are going to do basically a recruiting webinar from 8 to 8:30, once again Mountain Time, so adjust accordingly. But we are going to do a webinar where everyone can get a lot of people on this webinar. We have been doing a lot of one-on-one calls, which has been great, but like I said last week, my schedule completely filled up, and so we are going to try to duplicate those efforts and get everyone on a webinar. So if you cannot find an available time, make sure that you get them scheduled for this webinar. We, of course, will also record this and be able to use this as a great recruiting tool as well, and we can be able to email that out to people. So make sure you get on that, and I will be sending out the registration link for that today so that you can forward that on to your potential prospects and they can register for it. So once again, Tuesday night, first look training, as well as Wednesday night, a first look webinar that we will be having. And then Thursday, I am extremely excited about. Now, for those of you kind of more on the marketing and recruiting side of things, this may not be super exciting to you. However, I strongly recommend trying to plug in to as much of this as possible. This is definitely more of what it is that we do to help clients, but as far as kind of building your Tranont testimony, so to speak, and helping you to understand what it is that we are doing to help clients, this will be priceless. And of course, hopefully, we will be able to have some of it recorded to be able to send out and use for additional trainings. But let me explain what it is. Don Blanton is the guru in the financial industry for helping people understand some of these financial strategies that we teach people. You have all probably seen us using the Circle of Wealth software that is kind of a presentation tool with some calculators built in and a way for us to help our clients understand some of these concepts. Now, Don Blanton is the owner of that company. He has been doing this for 20 years. This software has been out there for 20 years being perfected and being used by some of the top financial advisors in the industry. That is how I met my mentor, Doug Foster. He is a guru with this software and with these concepts as well. But Don Blanton is the one that actually owns the company and is the one behind the software, and that will be on Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. That will also be here locally, but we are working on trying to make sure that is broadcast out to everyone. Now, like I said, this will be a little bit more on the financial side of things. So if you have zero interest in that, then that's fine, but I definitely would recommend learning some of this verbiage, and you don't have to understand it to the detail that maybe some of us wealth specialists understand it, but it's a very good thing to understand as far as being able to explain to people what it is that we do. And that will be on Thursday. So a good training on Tuesday, a good webinar on Wednesday, and that on Thursday. So we have lots of really good things going on this week. The other thing that, since we are primarily focusing on building and recruiting for this particular webinar on Monday mornings, I want to go over the #1 key to sharing the Tranat opportunity. I have been talking to several people over the last couple of weeks about the Tranat opportunity, and the #1 key to sharing this opportunity is to have your own experience. That I can't emphasize enough, and I will go into that in a little bit more detail at the end when I give you some kind of sample scripts and a way to kind of introduce this to people. But first and foremost, you have to have your own experience, because that is exactly what is going to get people excited, which means that the first thing you do when you come on board with Tranat is you need to meet with a wealth specialist. It's just like going to that gym and having a personal trainer assigned to you. You need to be meeting with that personal trainer before you start working out, because he's going to help you to know how to best work out, and the best workout routine for you, your best nutritional diet, if you're looking to lose weight or whatever the case may be. He's going to create a custom experience for you. Now, your experience of that gym, whether it was getting in shape or losing weight or whatever the case may be, the experience that you share with others about that gym was based on your experience, and it starts with meeting with that personal trainer and having that experience. And so I use the analogy there of The Biggest Loser. Nobody that has ever been on The Biggest Loser is out there telling the rest of the world about this amazing experience they had and how cool the treadmills were, or how amazing the equipment was. They are sharing their personal experience. And so when we share the Tranat opportunity with others, we need to make sure that we're not sharing with them how exciting the treadmills are. We need to share with them what our experience was. So if somebody went on The Biggest Loser and had this amazing life-changing experience, and not only was able to change their life physically by losing weight, but also just personally with overcoming personal obstacles and things like that, that was the reason why they maybe gained all the weight, but it was their experience. And so with our Tranat experience, it's the same way. We're not dealing with weight, but we're dealing with poor decisions we've made in the past with our finances. Everyone has probably made a financial mistake that has cost them big time. Well, how does the Tranat membership or the Tranat company help them to avoid those mistakes moving forward? It needs to be personal. It needs to be something that you can share with others, and it needs to start with having your own financial experience. And so if you're able to go in and meet with a wealth specialist as part of your Tranat experience, and you were able to save a ton of money, or maybe they were able to help you find money that you were wasting and put that towards retirement, or maybe they were able to help you give you a better solution that increased your income in retirement. Maybe they were able to help you understand your Social Security options a little bit better. Maybe just the plain old financial education that you gained of how to buy things more effectively, or how to save for your kids' college. Whatever it is that hits home to you is your experience, and it's going to be different for everyone. Some people are already in retirement. Some people are 20 years old and just barely even starting to think about it. So everybody's experience is going to be different, but everybody is going to have an experience, and that experience is what they are going to share with others. And so one of the suggestions that I want to make to everyone is that every appointment that I had last week where I shared the Tranat experience, every single one of them, or the Tranat opportunity, every single one of them at the end of the call said, wow, this is really cool. This is something, that sounds really good. I want to do some research and I want to look into it. I want to get more information. So they all, were interested, but they all wanted more information. Well, if you send them to the Tranat website or your personal website, that's like taking a virtual tour of a gym. They're going to be able to see, what kind of equipment they have and things like that. They'll be able to go watch videos on the Tranat OneView and the Tranat Defend product and things like that. But that is not what's going to recruit them. What is going to recruit them is your Tranat testimony, so to speak, your experience with Tranat and how it helped you. Now, in order to move them to that next step, what I'm going to recommend is kind of what we call a free trial membership. In other words, if somebody wants to look into Tranat, what better way to look into it than actually meeting with a wealth specialist and seeing how they can help them with their personal finances. And of course, they're going to get excited about what we're going to be able to do for them. And so they'll want to take a more active role in their finances, and therefore they'll want to, join Tranat and become a member. So I would highly recommend that of course you can send them to the Tranat website or something like that for additional information, but they are never going to truly experience what the people on The Biggest Loser have experienced by looking at a website or looking online. And so we need to have it be the process that after we meet with somebody and introduce them to Tranat on something like a recruiting webinar or something like that, the next step has to be that we get them in front of a wealth specialist to help them with their personal finances. That, more than anything else, is the research that they need. That's the homework that they need to be doing. That's what's going to help, to get them excited about what Tranat has to offer. Now, if your success story or your experience isn't maybe applicable to them, maybe you're young and they're older, well then use somebody else's story that you know of. And if you need help, talk to us and we can give you plenty of them. But we have stories everywhere from the guy with $100 million to the estate attorney making tons of money to the person making a few $1,000s a month and had nothing for retirement, and we were able to help them. We have stories from the wealthiest scenarios to the people just getting by and living paycheck to paycheck. We have helped so many people from such a wide range of backgrounds and ages and everything else. And so if you don't have, if your own personal experience isn't applicable, then maybe you could share someone else's. But that is going to be crucial to this initial introduction to the Tranat opportunity. Now, in addition to that, however, even though to me that is the primary goal and that's the most important thing, you do need to have a great experience with the tools as well, because it isn't just, the wealth specialist that they are signing up for. There are very, very powerful tools that can help them with their finances. So you need to get into the back office. You need to log in to your MyTranat. You need to go into the trainings section, and there is a training for everything back there, whether it's the ins and outs of OneView or the Defend product or just your back office and setting up the marketing side of that. I highly recommend you getting familiar with that. My dad was actually my first team member. He was so excited when he heard about what we were doing with this Tranat company that he signed up right away. And he is an accountant, and his background, of course, is in bookkeeping and accounting, and he's been doing that for several years. Of course, he's retired now, but he has used every tool you could think of as far as managing finances go, and he loves the Tranat OneView. He took all day one day and got everything set up, and he called me, and he was so excited. He was bouncing off the walls, excited about how powerful it was, and and how user-friendly it was. And it took him at first, and I will say this, at first he was not overly excited about the Tronaut OneView. And then when he actually dove into it and got it all set up, he was very impressed. And so at first look, he wasn't quite, he didn't have it set up correctly, and he didn't understand it as well as when he took the time to dive into it and got it all set up. And now he is like the Tronaut, OneView's biggest fan. And that's exactly what recruiting is all about. The way he shares his excitement about that Tronaut OneView is exactly what I'm referring to about all of the Tronaut tools and meeting with the Tronaut Wealth Specialist. It's that excitement that is how you recruit. I've always heard for years, you light yourself on, how you recruit is you light yourself on fire with excitement, and when people come to watch you burn, then you recruit them. In other words, it's your excitement, it's that enthusiasm that is what gets others excited. So you can't be effectively recruiting people or introducing people to this Tronaut opportunity unless you have that level of excitement. And how you get that level of excitement is you actually dig into this stuff and you learn it inside and out, and you have your own experience, and then you simply go around and share that with others. So to end with, I want to talk about what I call the sandwich trailer. In other words, giving somebody a little 2-minute spiel on what Tronaut is as a lead-in to maybe having them get additional information or meet with a Tronaut Wealth Specialist or something like that. But we will be working on a little 2-minute video that does this for you. But let's just say that you're actually talking to someone. Well, you're not going to just pull up a little video and show it to them when you're talking to them. You need to learn the verbiage. You need to learn how to give what we call the Tronaut sandwich trailer. In other words, how to give them a 2-minute, elevator pitch on what is Tronaut. And the way that you've heard Ariane train on this the last couple of webinars, but the way that we are doing this is the first layer is all about identifying the need. Now, instead of just asking generic questions like, do you think that the average person, could use some more could use some financial education, or, where does the average person go to turn for, financial education? Make it personal. One of the things that I learned after talking to so many people last week is to make it personal. Ask them, say, have you ever made a mistake, a financial mistake? Let me tell you about this company. Have you ever made a mistake with your finances? How much did that mistake cost you? There are several people who have cashed out 401ks that have put a ton of money on credit cards because they didn't have access to any other money, or, lost their home, and lost all that equity, or whatever the case may be. But you need to find out what their hot button is. So ask questions. You don't need specifics, and this isn't where they have to disclose all these bad things that have happened, but just generally, just say, have you ever made a mistake with your finances, and how much did that mistake cost you, and could you have avoided that mistake if you had had the financial knowledge or a good financial mentor or coach to help you to make sure that you didn't make that mistake. And of course the answer is always going to be yes, because everyone has made a mistake with their finances. I don't care how experienced they are or how good they are with their finances. Everyone has made a mistake with their finances. So you need to kind of maybe identify, and sometimes they will tell you, oh yeah, I had this bad experience with, with this once, or, so they will relate and they will know exactly what you're talking about. And then of course, the details of the meat or the middle layer are based on your experience. And that is why I was saying a minute ago how important it is to have your own experience, is that it's easy. You don't have to script it. There's no exact, language or verbiage that you have to have memorized for the meat. That is simply your experience. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I totally relate to you. I have made so many financial mistakes in my life as well. And what I love about this new Tronaut company is they are offering financial mentors and coaches and tools and education that help you to avoid making those kinds of mistakes. And this is what they were able to do for me. I was able to gain X, Y, and Z by my experience with Tronaut. And that is the crucial part of this little trailer. And it can be, all of this can be within a couple of minutes, just in a short little conversation with someone, about TurnOn. You can share with them, just briefly, what it is that you were able to do. And then, and of course, it's your enthusiasm that is so crucial to that second layer there. And then, of course, the third layer is to have them simply, or help them to identify how many people can relate to them and to you and to everyone else. Help them to realize how many people could benefit from this TurnOn experience, and help them to realize just how valuable a financial education is. You really honestly can't put a dollar amount on this, because if somebody is able to double their income in retirement or something like that, that is worth, I mean, the price of the membership should not be an issue when they can see how many tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars that a good financial education could save them. Because we make so many mistakes with our finances that cost us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And so the membership cost should not even come into play. And if it's an issue, then they're obviously not seeing the financial gain that they can get from it. And that's, of course, with you sharing your experience. But then anyway, in that third layer, that is where you help them to see the value, or the market potential. Help them to see that this isn't a lotion, a potion, or a pill. Help them to see that everyone in this country could benefit from financial education. And that is where you, of course, lead into how they can make some money. Now, how much detail you want to get into totally depends on your comfort level. You may just want to tell them that after they've referred 3 people, they get theirs for free. And of course, TurnOn wants them to help them market. And so after 12 people, they get a free Jeep so they can drive around and do some advertising for them. Whatever you want to do, however you want to close it, whether you want to get into splitting commissions or not, that's up to you and how you feel, what you feel might pique their interest. But that should give them enough information that they would want to get on a recruiting webinar, watch a recruiting webinar video that's recorded, or have a one-on-one appointment, with myself or Ariane or somebody else on the recruiting part. And then also, of course, if you give them enough information and they truly understand it and they're excited to just move to the next step, well, of course, the next step, like I said, should be to kind of have like a little trial, so to speak, a little, sample of what it is that we're doing to help people, and you can get them in front of one of us TurnOn Wealth specialists to go over their personal finances. So that should be kind of the flow. That should be, a way to introduce this, get them excited, pique their interest, share your excitement, and then get them, to the next step, which is either on the phone for a recruiting appointment to get more details, or get them in front of a wealth specialist. Now, you do not have to have all the answers. You do not have to be able to answer every one of their questions. You can tell them, look, honestly, I'm brand new. I just got started myself, so I don't have all the answers. All I can tell you is what I have experienced personally, and I have definitely benefited from TurnOn in this scenario and this scenario. And then you can just say, but I do know somebody that can answer all of those questions, and you can get them on the phone with somebody else. So that kind of in a nutshell is what I would highly recommend as far as sharing the opportunity and gaining your own experience yourself. And so I strongly recommend that if you haven't finished your personal experience yet, then get your schedule, or get your appointment scheduled with myself or whoever else it is that you're meeting with, whatever other wealth specialist you're meeting with, like Doug or somebody else, and get them, to get your own experience. Have your own TurnOn experience, because that in and of itself is how you recruit, and that's how you build this. All you're doing is sharing your experience. So with that being said, hopefully that was helpful, and we're excited for everything we have going on this week. Lots of good things going on, lots of great trainings out there, and I will be emailing everyone a recording of this. Make sure that everyone on your team gets it. Make sure that everyone stays plugged in. Also, if everyone would go out and make sure that they are a friend with me on Facebook, and then private message me and ask me to, add you to our Facebook group. If you're not already, we will be, putting links like this on that group as well. So we have email, but then we also have that group to be able to make sure everyone is connected and has access to all this information. So once again, thank you for your time, and we will be talking to you all soon. Bye-bye for now.